Businesses can often onboard far more clients than they think they can, and they often start hiring expensive staff members far sooner than they should. This then ends up limiting their income and ultimately cutting into their profit margins. I built a fully automated fitness coaching program so you can onboard and fulfill an unlimited number of clients. A big hesitation that a lot of businesses have is bringing in automations that will make their business look robotic and lose the personal touch. So here's how this fully automated fitness coaching program will still look personalized, won't look robotic, and will still deliver incredible results to your clients. This then allows you just to focus on communication with that client and making sure there's the necessary tweaks to their program that they need. So inside our platform, we have an onboarding automation that triggers when that client fills out an onboarding form. The client pays, they then go through an onboarding process where one of the steps is them submitting their information. For example, their injuries, the number of times they can train, the equipment that they have, the equipment that they don't have, and ultimately things that they enjoy. This automation then splits according to gender. For example, if they're male or if they're female. If they're female, we then have another automation just like this one, except instead of being triggered for males, it will then follow these steps if the client is a female. What then happens off the back of this is the automation then splits to 3, 4, or 5 days a week, depending on the number of times that the client requested that they'd like to train. Then off the back of this, the automation splits again if they want to train at home with no equipment, at minimal equipment, or at the gym. This then updates this client on your specific pipeline based off the answers that they've submitted. This then links to any fitness coaching app, for example, Trainerize, where the client will then automatically get added and assigned the appropriate program that is specific to the questions that they've answered. For example, if I say that I'm a man and I want to train 3 times a week at the gym, I would then get assigned the male 3 times a week at the gym plan. However, the automation could then filter out certain plans. For example, if I say that I've got knee and hip issues, I could then have different lower body exercises associated with my plan as opposed to another client. But a big thing alongside all of this is giving you perspective as to what's happening. I think a lot of the time when automations cause overwhelm, it's because the business owner doesn't have a clue what's actually going on. They feel like they've got a staff member just doing loads of random things in their business. So one of the steps is when that onboarding form is submitted, the automation then waits for 24 hours before assigning the plan. It then looks more personalized and it gives you a chance to review their onboarding information. For example, you then get emailed all of the answers that they've submitted so you can then make sure that the correct plan is assigned and you can make any final tweaks to it if you'd like to. You see, this is how the automation works. It comes in and then it splits based off gender. So on their onboarding form, they then get asked what their gender is, and then based off their answers to that, the automation will split. Then they get asked how many times a week that they'd like to train, and based off their answers to this, the automation will split again. And then lastly, they get asked what type of training program would they like, and the automation splits once more. This then automatically assigns them access to that certain plan inside your fitness coaching software, and then can even send them a message inside that software or on WhatsApp addressed to their first name, letting them know that their new plan's been assigned. This then literally takes you out of all of these steps and allows you to leverage your time into overseeing and, more important, more higher ROI tasks.